Let's do it.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. Brian's over here trying to interrupt the flow. But anyway, here we go. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm doing great, doing great. I mean, here I am tonight with two of my favorite people on this planet, and I'm not gonna complain about that. I've been keeping to myself a little bit, except for my tantrums on Facebook and stuff lately. But no, it's really good to be here with you guys. I mean, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, like we were just talking about before we came on. It's been a while since I've had either one of them on, and I was telling them it's just that's why I stuck with the higher minds. I think we were all feeling that funk that came through. There's been a lot of energies and stuff from the sun and from that galactic wave. Like, man, we've been getting pounded lately. So
what a ride!
Yeah, I mean, it truly. I mean, I love it. I like I said, I think I signed up for this shit. So here we go.
So we did it together.
Yeah,
and I think we went out and partied the night before.
Oh, and we're doing another one. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, man,
I think part of the reason I wanted to kind of stay away from podcasting just for a little bit was because so much going on all at once, and like certain things we just react to, and certain things we need to absorb and understand, you know what I mean? And yeah. I think that there's so much reaction, and also, people have the tendency to jump on, say, mainstream things or maybe non-mainstream things or this or that. And, with so much changes going on right now, I kind of felt better just to back off, because I didn't want to, I just wanted to get my own self, my own inner self at a spot of understanding, this, because it's been affecting us, not only say in podcasts and on social media and stuff like that, but, I've had many things in my personal life, that are coming to an end right now, like major things and stuff like that. So just dealing with these different things, and, things are happening also for a reason. And I'm going to actually talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk about a few things that I have come to a conclusion of what are kind of going on right now too. So,
well, ironically, that this time to me has been like just a time to breathe. And the reason I say ironically is, like, it's something else we were talking about before we came on. I finally went to the doctor the other day, and they called me today. But when I was at the doctor's office the other day, and everybody knows that's been watching this channel, I went through a period there a couple of months ago where I was having breathing problems, couldn't breathe. I was having panic attacks breathing. And, Brian, went through the same thing. And my doctor told me that, I probably had that COVID. That's what it sounded like. So, and where I struggled from that breath for so long. And then, like I was telling them, meditation literally saved my life again, just because when I was freaking out trying to gasp for air, that's the only thing that I could focus on breathing. So
I couldn't get anything out of my lungs.
Pushing, it was so deep.
Out, trying to hang it, I couldn't get it up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that, but it was something. But we both had it at the same time, and then kicked it. And of course, the toothache started in right after that was over.
Well, thankfully,
now we're going to grow some teeth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, like we were talking about before the show, I mean, they chemtrail the living crap out of us, I mean, they're definitely using biological weapons for sure, and, but we still have to stay strong within ourselves, I mean, we have to fight these things off. Our body always has to take responsibility for fighting things off, because there's a deeper plan here. I mean, the vaccination plan and all of these things that they're pushing out. They have a multifaceted agenda, and it's important for us to ride this agenda out on our own personal accord. And one thing that I'm doing, well, I've been working out again, and just I've been trying to eat more natural, but I'm actually going to go full on growing my own garden and everything. Like right now, this is, I'm selling things off. I'm getting out of where I am. I'm going to an environment where I can grow year round and sustain my own food. And I don't know where everybody is at with regards to their own self and their own eating and stuff, you know, but myself, I know now is the time. And I've been led here before many times, but I know now is the time that we must relearn how to be and live in a more natural state. And you know, that's what our calling is. And it's not the whole world's calling. I mean, if anybody hasn't noticed right now, there's a big separation going on right now. We got the totally non-sold over there. We've got the ones that are hanging on by a thread, and then we have the smaller portion that are coming into this truer understanding, you know, of what we are. And I've said it for a long time. We're not here to save everybody, but we continue to do the best that we can do at bringing the truth as we understand it within ourselves. And that is really what you do. It is totally not your responsibility if it is rejected by somebody. I mean, you got to think, we're eternal. They may get it. It might be in 1,000 years, not sure. But, you know, for those that are here to waken up and you know, those true natural children, because there are children of the matrix here, and I can get deep into that. I've been into it before, but not everybody around you. There is actually a lot of deception that'll come with pretty faces too, you know. So, and I don't mean just pretty faces, but I just mean average people around you, and their whole goal is actually to keep you within the beast system. So, you know.
Well, you know, it's like I always wonder where it comes from and all that, and like why I've been, you know, how I've been preaching about growing your own food and all that things, and the food shortages and stuff. And I mean, you know, it's even more now, like we've seen all the droughts and all that and flooding, and now they're literally dumping all this food. So thank God a lot of these truck drivers and people are getting together to prevent a lot of that. But so much has been dumped, like, and you know, I said it, that the UN said that we're getting ready to go through a food shortage pandemic. So, I mean, you know, if they're talking about now, like, folks, y'all need to prepare yourself. You need to know how to do these things. Because you think it's bad with the toilet paper aisle the way it was. Wait till you walk in and there ain't nothing in there. No food.
Well, I can't go with that toilet paper. That's just not funny at all. Ridiculous. Don't get me started. It'll make you want to die.
Yeah. Well, if nobody has toilet paper, it will help them enforce the 2 meter or 6 foot rule.
Oh my goodness!
Nobody will want to be near anybody.
My wife went down the wrong. We were at Walmart. My wife went down the wrong lane.
Yeah.
I mean, she was just shopping, and some woman jumped on her, and I looked at her and I couldn't help it, guys. I shouldn't have done it, but I did, and I just looked at her and I said, "Bah." It was just like a reaction. I shouldn't have done it. And I continued down, and as she came around the other way, she goes, "You're still going the wrong way." And I said, "Ma'am, I know. Have a great day." I just
actually
love to follow.
I have to admit I've lost my patience with a few of the sheep out there, because I've been out every day. I've never isolated myself in a house during one day of this, nor will I ever. No government and no nonsense and no news will ever guide or fear my soul, like, you know, and really that's what you do. And you just, you know, I tell people how silly it is at every single moment of every single place I am. I question them whether they know anybody. I just try to spark their minds and I move on, and that's it. And I'm not even really too worried about it. But it's just within my nature, you know, to if I see something that's ridiculous, or I see people that are being played or pawned, I'm going to spark something within them. But I'm certainly not going to hang around and wonder and worry about it, because at the end of the day, it is their choice on how they want to guide their own
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's why I was saying here in Tennessee, you know, Monday they open pretty much half the business at 50%, but by May 6th, everything will be open, state parks and everything open for business. But I'm telling you, you know, that's why I've been telling you the whole time, Tennesseans have been really handling this very well. I mean, nobody's really freaked out. It really hadn't affected most of the people.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I take it more as a positive because I've seen more people being creative.
Listen, seeing all the people kind of falling into the programs, it reminds me to look in the mirror and look at my programming. You know, what else is there that I need to work on? What am I ignoring that I don't think I'm ignoring? You know, and there's always something that I can work on. It reminds me of how deep I was in it when I was, you know, depressed and using and all that stuff. And, you know, I was almost a non-player character too.
Yeah.
You know, we get deep in it, but I've got to believe that, you know, not trespassing on anybody's free will, that people can be healed, you know, with love. And I'm always about that love, man. It
conquers all.
Brian, you are literally a love warrior, my man.
He is, yeah.
Man, my wife can't take it full time though. I tell you what. Because we'll be fighting. I'm like, you know, I love you, and she's like, oh, just shut up. It's about look, all of my stuff's in the 11th house. I mean, all of it.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing in any other house. It's just that's what it's easy to love. It just, you can continue to create that.
It's natural.
It frustrates people because they're not used, especially on this world.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like you say, it's just natural for us.
Yeah.
And you realize that the negative side, you know, I remember cussing that chemtrail out and getting real pissed off. I remember that day vividly, and it bounced back on me tenfold. And I've realized here recently that the dark aspect of what's going on, that's part of me too, because, you know, there have been lifetimes where I've been a part of programs that weren't so good, you know, and so that's part of me. And when we kind of go inward, when I go inward with that, I'm trying to heal that part of it, you know, not always successful, not always understanding, but there's that thing that keeps coming back. And I know it's hard for people to take, especially in this realm, and I'll call it a realm. But I've come to realize that really, I don't think there are any victims. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. But when we go inward, I think that's where we're going to find it eventually. It's not going to be, you know, maybe not bringing the word to people, but some people do that better than others. But we've got to face it all. Our dark, being connected to everything as we are, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to grasp that as a human, but as a universal consciousness, I get that. I can understand it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. That's why higher minds is just like
kind of
that. Higher minds is so much confirmation in it. You know, there's some terminology that, you know, is different, but, you know, sifting through it, like, man, it's mind blowing. I can't wait to start that telepathy stuff.
Absolutely.
I hope both of y'all will participate.
Sure.
For sure. That's a very interesting one. And I was really telepathic for a while, and I haven't really been, you know.
Dude, we're all doing it. Some people just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Oh, get married. You'll do telepathy all the time.
Well, I think I might have to find a different way, Brian. I don't see marriage in my cards in the near future.
Oh, don't push it out like that. You know, that'll bounce right back. You know how it goes, fellas.
Brother, I see an extended version of singlehood in my near future, but yeah.
I will throw you a bachelor party. No problem.
Yeah. No, I've been I've been in a fairly long kind of, I don't know what you call a relationship, but it's Yeah, I actually think I need some peace away from it. It's sometimes hard on the soul, and I've seen negative aspects of myself come out lately that I'm just like, no, I got to go back. I got to stay inward with that and stuff like that. But I mean, absolutely having a great partnership, like having a great, marriage like you have. I mean, that's a blessing. I mean, Source gave
It's
you
work. It's work like anything.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And no, by all means, I don't think that there's any one way to to walk this journey that maybe is any better than another. They're different, and they all have their own ups and downs, and that's for sure. And that's our journey forever. Like we think, this is one thing that is coming to me a lot lately. Okay, there's really dark people here. We get it. And, some of them are actually, here's a positive of all this, some of these guys that are really, really dark, like the Rothschilds and like the Satanists and the Gateses and all these people that have these, they have these warlock spells or, spells upon people, and they utilize their main tool, money, and all these things. But, I guarantee you that more people right now know about some of the darkness than did before. I'm not saying that they've come out of the system, and I'm not saying all this, but there is a spark of awareness within a lot of people that wasn't necessarily there even like a month ago. Like even through this whole chaotic, politically structured, event that we're dealing with, that some of it is backfired, but the key is
you can feel it.
Is if it yeah. The key is in the natural children understanding it. The complete and utter phony demonic people out there, they're going to keep playing their roles. You know what I mean? They're going to keep pounding it out. But the key is for those beings that can sometimes see it. The sparks will come, they'll come, but you don't know which one they'll finally go, hey, wait, what's going on here? Who am I? What am I doing here? What is going on? Like, and there is a lot of positive with the negative too. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Feels dead. It really does.
Absolutely. Like, and once you see them, the funny part is these dark ones, I mean, they're so freaking obvious. You wonder how you could never have missed them. Like, they might as well walk around with billboards on their backs because they're all egomaniacs. They're all narcissists. So, one problem that narcissists, psychopaths, all of these people have is sooner or later, they have to expose themselves because it's part of their thing. Like they need that, whether it's from their own or from something. They get something out of the total evil or darkness that they follow. So,
Brian, you had Bob issues there a little while ago.
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up a little bit. Having some internet problems, so I shut the phone off, put it on the data. Hopefully that'll help a little bit.
It's bandwidth is a weird thing, and I don't know what they did. They did warn us that bandwidth issues would be a problem, but I've even had problems here, and I used to have off the hook internet service. Oh yeah, speaking of, real quick, I got something on my phone today, one of those EMF detectors and all that. It's been giving me alerts. Let's see what the current one is. Actually, right now, it's only 54 out of 100. And here's the weird thing, though. It tells you what sources are affecting you. Verizon Wireless is one. But 2G is affecting me more than the 5G.
The highest thing I've seen on the EMF detector is putting it next to an iPhone or an iPad. It goes all the way up to 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. It's crazy.
It's great, and you feel it. You actually feel.
You do.
I've been spending way too much time around iPhones and all these things, but you do feel it. You feel the energy that comes through. It affects.
Put it next to your heart.
Your heart affects a lot. Yeah.
Man, your heart will start racing.
Yeah. Well, and I think about this, like people can never understand why they'll be like, why would the government do this against us? Why would this do this against us? Why would that do that against us? You know, even if you wanted to look at any ancient text or any even understanding, you have to know that there are beings that are here that are nothing like you. Their agenda is completely different than yours. Okay, we are children of Source. They are children of the Matrix. Children of the Matrix revolves around the children of the devil, the children of the Matrix. Like, there is a completely different set of energy, artificial energy, because you got to remember that these are avatars. You know, we're spirit of Source within this avatar. You see, some people, and this is how to get around the concept of how government and all of this will work against you, because they truly are different. They have a completely different agenda. So the transhumanism, the artificial intelligence, has an agenda to keep things and bring things more into the artificial intelligence realm, whereas we, the children of Source, are exiting the artificial realm. That's why if you just ate naturally for a week, fasted a bit, did all of these things, got away from the artificial intelligence, your spiritual abilities will grow exponentially in that time, actually. And that's how you grow. It's like, it's simpler than we think. It's just eliminating the artificial and moving back into a natural plane. It changes everything.
If you just let go of that matrix, it becomes natural.
Yeah.
And you know, I did something a couple weeks ago that put a shock to my system. You know, we can take our time in doing this process. Unlike anything, it's going to take some time. But I theoretically sat in the tub and I disconnected myself from the matrix. I'm talking every spinal cord, every organ, all of it. And then 15 minutes later, I was so sick. I was blood pressure, and I don't have blood pressure problems. Just everything went out of whack. I mean, just completely went out of whack. So disconnecting yourself from the matrix, that's one thing. Doing it all at once, I wouldn't recommend that. It's like like being addicted to anything. You know, we've been on that stage with these things jacked into us for so long. Doing that etherically and meaning it, whoa, dude.
Well, I remember when Steve was,
that was scary.
Wasn't it Steve that was saying, you know, put down the phone for 48 hours? Somebody said that. Anyway, I did it, and man, I'm telling you, it made world of difference.
Yeah.
Didn't have any Wi-Fi on anywhere. And I didn't look at my phone all weekend. Didn't get on the computer.
Yeah. It does make a huge difference. Yeah. It's like if you're enjoying people again, or enjoying animals again, or, you know, like, I know the draw, you know, is always back to this, and it's tough for all of us right now because the AI is a big part of this existence, right? But
you better believe it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, thinking back to your greatest experiences, and what are you really doing when you're on AI? The best things that you even see on AI are things that remind you of things when you were never on AI. Yep. They stimulate you when you see, like, that forest, and then you think about that great hike that you went on. When you think about those days that you know, were in love with somebody and you didn't care at all about freaking, like, internet or what anybody else said. And you know, the greatest moments of existence have nothing to do with.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's why my favorite moments in life is always the small things, you know, like, you know, remembering and sharing a joke with somebody and laughing your ass off, or, you know, I mean, sorry, but like getting high with a bunch of your friends and,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Just watching cartoons or something and laughing. Like, it's the small things in life that really matter. And I mean, you know, for, I guess, somebody that like you're saying, rainbow children, whatever you want to call it, but our group, I think that is what's most important for most of these people. If you truly appreciate life, it's the small things.
We're still human too. That's sometimes we lose sight of that, but we've got to be human. That's one of the things another thing I've figured out. I came here to be human. It's a decision that I made before I came here. So I just kind of trust in that decision and remember still to go through the process of being human, And
I'm glad that you've been able to keep a grasp on that, because that's what I was saying. I think that's why the world is so overpopulated, because we've lost sight of what we're truly meant to do while we're here, and that's enjoy life and experience these things for Source. And that's why you have all these non-player characters running around, because that's the people that didn't get it right.
Yeah, there's
fell into it deep. I fell into it deep too. I mean, deep. Brian, I should be dead. I shouldn't be here talking to anybody.
And I've died twice. I mean, come on, I'm here for something.
I couldn't figure out why for the longest time, And I'm not perfect by any means. I'm still human, and I can screw up.
Yeah.
But I get to wake up the next day, even if I foul up, or if I've had a bad day, or if we fought or something, and I can start again. We can get back up to where we were. We're not just starting all over again like we.
I think we're supposed to experience the lows as well.
Sure.
I would agree. So I think well, if you think about what we are, extensions of Source, children of Source, we are experiencing. That's what makes us Source. Your children are you because they are connected to you and they experience, and it's a whole different level if you're talking about our spiritual connectedness. That's why, yes, we're brothers. I mean, literally. And we are connected back into Source. We're experiencing this. And even as this realm creates and changes, and the other realms or dimensions around it, which actually we're going to get into this, Brian, not now, not in this one, because this is a whole show. Because I'm going to go into what this universe is, but it's not even for tonight. But
we'll save it for a week or two.
Yeah,
that's a show right there. Man, I love bending reality and seeing stuff through it. It's awesome. But I have had some experiences with some things that were a little too playful. So it's not all been roses. I mean, but you keep that vibration high. That's reflective always. But I have had one entity. I mean, it felt like he literally pulled a needle out and stuck it in my calf.
Sure.
I've had some things happen that were not cool.
Oh yeah, myself too. I mean, yeah, definitely face some darkness. That's a little bit more than even the little Bill Gatesies and all of these little powder puffs that I call them. You know what I mean? Because these are just the I don't know. These are the pawns. These are the pawns of things that we face. I don't respect. I give no hard respect to a man or a woman unless they earn that. And the only way to earn that is actually by being a good, true spirit and soul to myself. The rest of these yahoos and stuff like that, they mean nothing to me. They won't be anything in the greater aspect of your true eternal spiritual growth. They just are an experience that we're experiencing now. And that's why they say, like, even in the books, like if you wanted to look at it as an expression, it says like the devil's time is short. Well, the devil's time is always short, because things are always healing. And, there's nothing really in this matrix that is really of true value except for your experience and your growth. that's why we can be at total areas of darkness and then come out of those areas of darkness. And,
Right.
you know, you become bolder, you become able to teach. Like, think about it like this. Think about ourselves, say, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. Would you be as bold in the truth then as you are now? Do these people really bother you, or do you look at them like they're missing some point, you know? And like when you're out, say the non-player characters and stuff, they're really not affecting you. We choose to have them affect us if we enter back into that realm of existence. Hence why actually right now there's important people in my long-term spiritual growth that are being completely cut out of my life right now. I can't take them right now. I really can't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. They're completely obsessed, possessed, whatever you want to call it, by the matrix reality, and I just can't be part of that in my particular growth at this point in time. So, you know, sometimes we do have to make tough decisions that actually turn out to be correct decisions, but we do have to make them at times.
Yeah, let me read this real quick in chat. And I Payaso, and by the way, welcome, says Earth is an anagram for heart. Silent is an anagram for listen. Listen to your heart. We tune out the mind and tune in within. We are source players. We become the higher self operating the avatar. Absolutely. Well said.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Welcome, my friend.
Well, welcome to the, no, absolutely.
And listen to this. It says, or he or she, I don't know which one, but it is why we operate inside out always, for we are always. Nothing eternal can impact our inner. If an egg is broken by outside force, life ends. If broken by inside force, life begins. Welcome, my friend. I'm so glad you have come to this channel. Email me at milkywayweekly@gmail.com. I'd love to get you on here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Phil.
I've run into a couple people, like at Walmart. I went with Josie and Tristan one day. I wanted to go buy him a toy. And as we walked in, there was this guy, he had a mask on, and you could tell he was in a state of fear. Josie got ahead of me when I was grabbing a basket, and he got in the middle, and he looked at her and said, "Get out of my way." She didn't hear him. But I looked at him and I said, "Sir, you've got to step to the right now. It's my daughter." I said, "You need to move over that way." And I walked right past him, but she didn't hear anything. I didn't do anything to the guy because you could just tell the state of fear. Now, 5 years ago, man, I'd have been in jail real quick because that's just, you can't, but to be able to recognize it, and then to recognize that those actions have come out in me before, you know, years ago, reacting to something negative I had in my life, you know, but this guy's frazzled. I mean, he is bought into the whole thing. You could tell.
Oh yeah.
Bob's loving you, dude.
Bob doesn't like,
but she wasn't even, but she was off in Wonderland, you know, she was in a different vibration.
Yep. Yeah.
Am I breaking up?
Bad.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right, man.
It's all good. I mean, yeah, you see I've seen a state of fear, and you know, I'm usually more patient with the state of fear. I haven't been patient with this state of fear at all. I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous that I'm actually having a tough time taking the fear. I'm just not playing into it. I mean, yes, I do feel for people, you know, but actually my deeper thing is just if a small portion of it sees it and then because of it realizes that it shouldn't have had any power over them, and then they grow from that. I mean, that's definitely a possibility with a lot of people, because I've actually seen some cool people out there too. Like I say, I'm out all the freaking time, you know, and I mean, I get around people and I make fun of people in Home Depot and Walmart. And, you know, I just like, I'm like, I swear I've probably said enough things to enough people that probably 1,000 people would want to punch me in the face. But, you know, I'm just like, whatever, you know, I'm not rude with them. I'm rude with the situation. I'm bold with the situation.
That's why I've been saying this is a time I've learned to breathe, because I've been going through the same thing. My patience level has been down. Like I said, that's why I ain't been doing shows and stuff. So, you know, I haven't had the patience for it. So that's what, like I said, it's a time to focus on the breathing, and because
maybe I'll go
you get mad, just stop yourself.
Huh? You go to Walmart and push somebody.
I actually think it's going to be. I think that there.
I mean, that used to be me.
I think at the end of all of this, it's actually going to be a good thing. I'm still going to go with it's going to be a good thing. And you know, and also kudos out to those people, and I totally get it. You know, the people I do see on Facebook, and they know who they are and stuff like that, and I get it. You know, I was there too, and I'm still there. You know, but I do see people pounding the truth, trying, and I know, and it is hard sometimes. It can be very frustrating. It can be very maddening. And also when you see the level of evil in some of these people, it can be really, really hard to, you know, I mean,
it's unfathomable.
And kudos to everybody for standing in their truth and being strong in this period of time and not bowing into the matrix and stuff like that. Like I truly love those people that are out there, you know, fighting the battle too. And I also even like it that many are understanding that, seeing sometimes the futility of the battle and even coming to deeper understandings of themselves and stuff like that, you know. I mean, sorry, but at the end of the day, we do guide ourselves, you know. We do guide ourselves.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You said the magic words. Stand in your truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and if you look into, like, you know, I'm not a big, I'm definitely not a religious guy. I mean, religion has nothing to do with this. But if you look into, say, you know, maybe Christ consciousness, into all of these things, it continuously says that we will have to stand alone and have to stand away from the crowds. So when it happens, we need to stop being so weirded out by the fact that it's happening, because it is happening and it was meant to happen. And through it all happening, you still speak. You still flip over, you know, if you were to go into like the Jesus stuff and stuff, you still flip over the tables in the churches. You still, you know, you still be you. Just be you in this existence. Be what your heart, as people say, tells you to do. And, you know, and sometimes, and I'm probably not the best example, because some people I really actually think I've been too hard on sometimes with it. But
sometimes, you know, people need to kick in the head.
That's your part of the page. That's your part of the puzzle.
Yeah, we all bring our own.
That's a corner piece, buddy. It's important. You can do it.
Your talent is in your face.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I'm coming out here for a few days.
I'm growing out my beard right now, Brian, just in case they put me on the cross here in the next while, just so that I, you know, you look a little bit more the part, you know. So
hey, let me read this.
Sitting down and growing a beard, you know. There we go. So
let me read this in chat real quick. Sparkles says, despite the ideas we have of each other, we are still all human with a heart. If we look at what similar is between us, we will find our true strength being together. Absolutely. Beautifully said.
Absolutely.
Let's see if there's anything else in here. Man, like I said, I love my chat room because, you know, I know there's other channels that are bigger and stuff, but pound for pound, my chat room, they talk about some serious stuff in there. People helping each other and discussing things. I don't even care if you're not paying attention to us, because y'all say amazing things. So keep helping each other and discussing things like that. And not only here, when you go out, like, I say it all the time, man, I'm a prophet out there. I go out there and I talk this to everybody.
Me too.
I don't care who you are.
Me too. Yep. And it really doesn't matter to me if people look at me as being whatever they want to look at me as, you know what I mean? Sometimes people that are my friends around me, definitely they want to walk away the other way when they're around me, because I don't stop. I really don't stop from the morning. I will in business situations and certain situations, but I'm always thinking about an avenue to bring truth or to bring a spark to somebody. And you're talking about the chat room. I'm not in it, but I see the people in it, and it's just like, this is a great, amazing group of people. Do we all have every answer? No. Will we all have every answer? No. But we all searching with our hearts. You know what I mean? That's the key, is that there's no agenda. Once there's an agenda, it doesn't work. It's just, you do and speak things, and you know what? Many times you do and speak things, and as you speak it, it may hurt you. It may hurt you in this world and stuff like that. I just have all my home inspection things. I'm always told by guys that love, the fellow that I work with, a good friend, he's always just like, Kent, I know what you're saying, and I know it's the truth, but can you just go into this one a little bit easy? We got realtors here, we got this. So I sometimes ease it back a little bit, but not because I'd want to, that's for sure. My heart.
You better make them put all those hurricane clips up, every single nail. All of them. Don't go easy on them, buddy.
Absolutely. Because, also at the end of the day, I'll leave this avatar, this incarnation, and, sometimes I'm starting to get to the point, like, why would I leave chips on the table? It's really just the matrix silencing you. You can always stand and speak in the truth. It can't really hurt you in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Real quick, Chloe said she ordered a t-shirt Tuesday. Thank you for everybody that has been ordering t-shirts. For some reason, it picked up. So thank you, everyone. And James Broom says, the thing is, when we're here in this chat room, and which I wish that we had chat room that run all the time or whatever, but we can chat and rewatch the video. Like I said, yeah, man, one thing I take pride in here is, and I stand by it too. That's why, like, if y'all see somebody in there that's disrespecting them, get rid of them. This is a safe place, and I take pride in that. Yeah. So, yeah, and now when I'm saying disrespectful, I mean malicious. If you don't agree with their opinion, tough. I'm talking about being malicious towards someone, attacking their character or something. If you see that, get rid of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to say that.
No, that's absolutely the truth, because people should feel like, that this is a good place to come and express yourself.
Absolutely.
Express what's coming through you, And
we have been able to do that for years. I mean, we've been alone. All of us have been alone. Now we finally have a place we can come to and vibrate.
This is truly family here.
It's
absolutely.
Wonderful.
And it may grow. It may shrink, but it's family. So.
Well, it's all part of the process too. I mean, there is a separation happening right now throughout the world. Like, I can see it. It shouldn't shock us that the group within the matrix that maybe is really coming into understanding is small. Why would that shock us? It shouldn't be shocking. Like, if you think that 90% of the world and all the news media out there and stuff like that are just gonna all of a sudden just change. I mean, it hasn't changed here in thousands of years. I mean, it's not exactly what that is. You know, it's we're small, the remnant, whatever, you know, you want to call it, but that's okay. Like, don't worry about it. I mean, that's the nice thing about a good chat room like this, is that you can come and know that there's other people and other beings and other spirits out there, that they get it.
And like I said, you know, you're not alone here. There's somebody you can reach out to.
Absolutely.
So nobody can ever say they're alone if you're in this chat room. I promise you that.
That's true.
I mean, I've always said, email me, you know, I mean, I'm hesitant about, you know, giving my phone number out. Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I'm hesitant about giving my phone number out just because I've had problems with that in the past. So
I crank him every other day. You better believe it.
But, you know, I mean, you know, I'd be more than happy to do a Zoom meeting with you, email, whatever, you know, that'd be great.
Absolutely. And how has it been, Brian? Have you seen like new faces and stuff coming in, you know, like
I had, I mean, and that's what I'm saying, you know, there's been quite a few coming in lately. That's why I was saying the family is expanding, and it's truly people that are searching for answers. You know, I don't know how that's happening. For some reason, I'm in the good graces of YouTube right now. So that's why I don't say the words of those people and viruses go around. I don't say those words. So that's very important to stay in good graces.
They gave me a strike.
Man, I'm telling you, I got an email that said, if you put blatant misinformation out about that C word, you will get a strike.
Dude, all I did was point the camera to the sky, and I didn't say a word, not one word, and they gave me a strike. That's just an algorithm mess up.
Yeah.
That's all that is. I'm not even going to worry about it.
I have, you know, people get banned off of Facebook and stuff like that. I literally think that Source just wants me on there putting some stuff sometimes, because, I mean, I should be more banned from Facebook than any being on Earth, I think, with the stuff I post sometimes against the, you know, and yet they seem
where you're safe is because most of the time you just post little quotes or something from yourself. Where people get you, where they get you is if you post the links.
I heard him go off. What are you talking about? He's put it down hard enough.
Oh, no, yeah. Ken put it out there.
He puts it out there, man.
Yeah. But like I said, I really am considering leaving that platform. I just don't like it.
But where would I post pictures of my growing plants, Brian?
Hey, email me.
Well, and
by tying my shoes, I like to post a picture of me tying my shoe, you know? That's important shit.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I don't like to ever be in fear, even if we're right in the middle of it. But it's nice to get out where it's natural and away from it. You know, I believe in that principle of no weapon formed against us shall prosper. So it's you know, obviously being in the city, tied in the house with the Wi-Fi's and the iPhones and this and that. I mean, they're hammering you for sure. I mean, the chemtrails are hammering us for sure, and the food is hammering
bodies are tough though, huh? I mean, think about all the stuff they dish out onto these bodies, and they take it, and they just
absolutely
they heal. I mean,
have you seen the commercials where they're even telling you now that, you know, they're collecting data to see if people have been sheltering in house and stuff, so they're following everyone.
They've been doing that for a while.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm just saying now they're telling you on commercials.
They know when I pass gas, Brian. It's the silliest thing. I mean, have you ever looked the biometrics up on you on the phone? Have you pulled it up?
No.
It's scary. You blinked. Yeah. I mean, it's that intense. Yeah, it's that intense.
Now how do you do that? Where do you get this? You
can pull it up. There are a few apps you can look at, but I've got an app that has like all the tools on it. It's got the EMF reader. It's got, you know, metric and all that kind of stuff.
Let me text me later and let me know exactly what the name of it is.
Anybody can look that up, but they record all that stuff, all of it. And I mean, you change the blood pressure, any of that, so temperature, they get it all. it really is scary. Color your skin.
You know one thing that they don't have going for them? When they get too close to any of the what I call us, the natural children, they get their asses handed to them in the spiritual realm. So, you know, they will, yeah, you know, they have all this technology, and they like, you know, they're part of what is thrown out or placed out on Facebook and all these other mediums. You know, they want you to be afraid of 5G too. Like, don't get me, they want you to be afraid of absolutely everything. Like it wants to give you this concept, like it's so freaking powerful that you shouldn't even venture to think about defying it. But, you know, this is not true either. It's not really that powerful.
I'm telling you, go Google something. Like I went and Googled used four-wheelers the other day. And now when I go on Facebook or Google, anywhere I go, four-wheeler ads are popping up everywhere.
It's always up. It's always up. How come you have all those ads for three-breasted ladies?
That's me. I was just saying, we were at the strip club the other day, and they keep sending me messages.
Sorry, that was my demented sense of humor.
I was like, God, I got to go look at my Facebook real quick because my grandmother and mom follow it.
Oh, shit.
Well, let me tell you, that's what I was going to say. Y'all know I've talked about my grandmother. She's super New Testament. Oh, and let me tell you, I've heard from a couple of family members about things I post on Facebook. That's another reason I'm thinking about just getting off of it. Because I just post whatever, you know, resonates with me, and it may not resonate with everybody, including some people in the family.
Oh, I've been accused of worshiping crystals. Yes, I have. I said, they are my God. I just let them, I love them. I just, but some of the things, and even
Sometimes
when I explain it, I'll explain it in like a paragraph or two paragraphs, trying to explain it, and they'll come back again.
It always comes
worshiping
back.
those crystals every single day.
I just went on a trip with my parents because my parents are looking at moving from where they're at out closer to where I'm going. And you know what? It was actually a priceless trip because my dad, about every 30 minutes of the trip, or not every 30 minutes, but everywhere we went, because everybody knows my views on what's going on out there right now is being complete nonsense. But my dad, and he's about every hour, he's looking at me, he's like, Ken, what is with everybody? Has everybody gone nuts? I'm like, yes, Dad. Yes, they have. He's like,
you noticed that.
So we pull up because I'm driving and we're on a road trip out there. They won't let us use a bathroom anywhere at any of these gas stations. We can't get coffee. We can't get this. I go to my dad. I'm going, take a piss. He's like, where? I'm like, right here. Just take a piss. Right outside the gas station, eh? He's like, you're right. I'm going to take a piss right here.
Good for him.
Because he's not being brainwashed. I don't know if the universe is also helping, but I have to admit, a beautiful thing through all this, I feel like my parents' level of understanding with it has actually exponentially grown because they're just looking at it like, what on earth is everybody doing and talking about? You know what I mean?
Oh, my mom, everybody knows that, but even my stepdad, and he was pretty set in his ways, but even he's more open-minded now. It actually blows my mind how much open-minded he is. So it is effective. I'm telling you, it's just that frequency that's coming in, and whether you're just open to it,
people got calmer. Families kind of settled a little bit. Did you notice that? And then people started communicating, it felt like.
Well, the family structure came back. Like I was saying, remember when everybody got together every Sunday for Sunday dinner? Well, now everybody's been forced back in the house together. And I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying, that kind of backfired on you.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've honestly seen it where some people that I didn't think would expand and see things more have, and other people that I thought would never have like absolutely into the matrix, sucked like I've never seen before. Like it's like, so it's kind of been a one way or the other, like, you know, and it's not necessarily what you thought or what you will think, you know, because we're just on our journey. You're doing the best that you can. And, you know, this is what I take, okay, from any religious text or any ancient text or anything. I know we scrupularize them to understand every bloody thing.
Oh, because they're just parts of truth.
They're just parts of truth. And if there's something that works for you in it, if there's something that resonates with you, take it.
Absolutely.
You know what? If you look in your cup of coffee and it says, I swear that the water says, be good to people today. Well, then be good to people that day. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all within source. It's all within source.
You created that anyway. You created what's in your coffee cup.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, like where I am, like one of my great joys is no matter where I go, especially since I had a return awakening journey, I mean, the animals always come around and stuff like that. And I mean, just take notice of them. And don't be judgmental of them, because one thing I'm going to say that we will all come to an understanding of, when we think of the children of Source, I know as humans, sometimes we think, oh, it's the humans, right? It's us. Oh no, it's the animals and the trees and stuff.
My dog has she's all soul, man. She's all spirit.
Well, I'm telling you, the animals have came back too.
She's taught me so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just everything. We all have different senses and different perceptions of reality and stuff like this. And this is one of the greatest things that we have to come to understand. Say if you want to move from one dimensional realm to another, sometimes there's just principles that you have to come to understand to be able to even be in that other realm, you know, which it could be a principle of understanding that the big to the small has no difference, or it could be understanding the plants better to understand so that you can
energetically
like if you want to experience all of what Source is, you have to learn to control your power that you have over other aspects of Source to let them be, or you can't go and truly understand that aspect of what Source is. And
Franny Giesland, and welcome back, Franny, good to see you, says, cult just translates to knowledge. Therefore, cult mind control is the manipulation of half-truths in order to control people and keep them from fullness of reality. And look, that's the constant nonstop programming that has been going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, there's a lot of good discussion going on.
I do feel like there are beings here that will help. I've had beings that have worked with me energetically.
We have helpers.
Yeah, we have helpers. And they're very patient. It's both. It really depends on your vibration. But I mean, they have sat there with me for a couple of hours working with me energetically, just trying to see them better or to feel their vibration a little better. And they've been graceful about it. You know, it's not like, you know,
do you think maybe that's just your higher self though? Because see, that's what I
feel.
Well,
if it is, then it's like 30 or 40. I mean, it's like a block party around here all the time. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't believe what's behind me right now, looking over my shoulder.
Absolutely.
Full house.
Well, I think you're like one of those that sees in between worlds. You're seeing other spirits and entities and things is what I think you're seeing.
We're all that.
Yeah.
It's just
But I'm talking about what you're actually connecting with.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just a lot going on. It's like a Disney parking lot on a Saturday in the sky. And it's just every space is taken up interdimensionally on every frequency and every level. I mean, we're not standing in this space by ourselves, not by a long shot. And that's fun. I enjoy being able to pierce that and feel that. It also helps me to see this reality not so intensely. You know, it helps me to understand what manifestation is.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing as far as when in my meditation that I've learned, you can playing different frequencies literally puts you on different frequencies, and you have different experiences when you're meditating and so-called maybe astral travel, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So work with different frequencies as well,
yeah.
because there's different experiences involved.
And there are many ways to do different frequencies. I mean, through like reflection, through a picture or a symbol, like
working with
your
those,
music.
yeah.
There's like so many ways to experiment with it and figure out like how to make a chord within yourself and create some kind of resonance to, you know, when you get into that when you're listening to a beautiful song that really touches your heart and makes you start to tear up, you know, when we get into that mode, man, I really believe that we're capable of, doing anything in that moment.
We're capable
Anything.
of so many things
There are
that we don't even realize it.
It's fun.
And you know, that's like we were talking about the other night, the reactivating the DNA, going into meditation and actually repairing your DNA and that junk DNA, putting it back together. And that will bring on your abilities as well. And I'm telling you, that things like that, like going in and meditating on reconnecting and regrowing your telomeres.
Right.
Majorly important.
That's great advice. And that's, you know, I actually got to get a little bit back more into meditation. I know when I moved from here, and I'm going to get into growing my own vegetables, but a lot of it is reconnecting with like creativity. I mean, you know, lately when I've been alone in a car and I've been listening to, I've actually been listening to music that I love. You know, I did a lot of karaoke and stuff like that, and it's kind of like forced different music. So I thought I'd go after some of the music that I loved. And because I actually have a friend out in where I'm going to, and he's an excellent guitarist, and we're gonna put a bit of music together. And
you know, I think I'm actually able. I think I've got enough extra now where I could get that mixing board so we could do karaoke.
Absolutely, we can do karaoke.
Let's do some Red Hot Chili Peppers, man.
I'll get the mixing board then, and we'll set it up. So, because if y'all will still really do it, that's I'm wondering if people will really get on here and sing.
I'll do it.
Kent will.
I'll do it.
Okay, then I'll get the mixing board then.
Do all the music from Greece. I'm looking forward to that.
I don't know about all that.
We got to do, man. Come on, don't play, Brian. I really need to do that.
Oh my
well, that's one thing I need to do on the property that I'm going into. I'm gonna do my own art. I'm gonna build my own furniture. I'm gonna literally build a sculpture in the forest and stay as connected as I can. It's a real
man, you need to document all that. I'm telling you, put it on YouTube, man. You'd be surprised. You get tens of thousands of subscribers just documenting doing all that building, and like you said, especially that sculpture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you do like metal sculpture?
No, we can do it. Honestly, you can do almost anything, really. You know, we're all so capable of so many things, and it's just about putting your mind to it. It's just about flowing in that vibration and stuff like that. Like it was just like, even like earlier today, I was farting around with like Chris Cornell and stuff like that, because I mean, the dude is just like awesome. Like he was incredible. And I was always like, I would always sing stuff like Eddie Vedder stuff, and because my voice was more like Eddie Vedder's, but it's just like, I listened to those two together and I was like, holy cow, like Chris Cornell was on a different level than Eddie Vedder the whole time. And I thought, I can't do this. But you know, it's weird. If you just find that resonance of whatever you want to do, you just find it, and then it just flows, and you'd be surprised. Sometimes you shock yourself. You're just like, oh, well, yeah, that's not even really that difficult. But you know,
one thing about singing, you definitely need to find the song that works for you, the songs that work for you, because when you try to stress out and sing like they do, it just don't work.
But here's a great thing, you know, if you want to be a good singer or a good whatever, make it your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just change it into what works for you. And if you want to stretch out a couple things, then just slightly stretch them out. You'd be surprised how well it
I'll
works.
sing songs in different tones and like, even a little off key sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, I'm looking
Sing
forward
some-
to it now.
Harry
Me too.
Connick Jr. Man, I love that kind of music right there.
I really haven't ever listened to Harry Connick Jr. I
Oh,
can
man.
tell you even what he sings.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Dang.
I mean, some good old school country. And
Yeah, I like some Dave Matthews.
I do quite a bit of country, actually.
Dave Matthews.
Country's
Yes,
pretty
sir.
easy flow.
I can sing some Dave Matthews.
Boy, that's a
Oh.
woke dude right there. Listen to all his music, man.
I mean, I know it's a
Whoa.
lot of people consider women. Man, he's talented, dude.
Ooh.
That's a good band.
Yeah,
Inspiration.
absolutely.
Man, we went over an hour, but still, I'd like to get a final thought for y'all. And we'll definitely have to do this sooner rather than later. And it's been good hanging out with you two again.
Man, I'm glad to be back, Kent. It was good to be back with you again, man.
You
Yeah.
too, Brian.
It's
I
been a
mean,
bit.
I love you like a brother over there.
We are
I-
brothers.
When they open
Yeah.
that border again, or if not, I'm gonna have to figure out a different way, like human catapult or something, like launch myself across the
Dude,
border.
just
I'll
UPS
pick you
yourself
up,
down
dude.
here.
I'll pick you up on the other side.
Come on.
Exactly.
That's
I do
fine.
have a final thought, and this is for everybody.
That's
Al
it.
wanted me to do that.
Okay, Big Al. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting on Big Al probably next weekend. So
Well-
we're looking for that. John Mayer is so good, man. I didn't really used to pay much attention to John Mayer, but once he started playing with Dead and Company, dude, John Mayer is a freaking master on the guitar.
Yeah, he is
dude.
really
He
good.
is a freaking master.
You think he reminds me of that guy on Oh Brother Where Art Thou when he's like, I sold my soul to the devil. You remember that guy?
Damn, I'd like to
Dude's
see I'd
good,
like to see
man.
that movie again. It's been a long time.
That's a great movie.
I mean, really, obviously times are weird and tough right now, or maybe they aren't. But when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So let's stick with it. Stick with what we see as the truth. Be more creative, and if the world changes, let it change. You change, but let's do things for the better. You know what I mean? Maybe we could use a little less shopping and a little less stores open and stuff like that. I mean, and when the stores do reopen, I got a little bit of advice for everybody. Support the little guy. Enough
Absolutely.
with chasing the prices. You can see who's the cabal companies are. They just open themselves up to you.
This
If
was
they're
an
open
attack
right
on
now-
small businesses, dude. It truly was.
Yeah.
And once these small businesses open, Kent is right. Rush to them places. Don't go to these big boxes. They need your help now.
Dump them completely.
Stop and pick up some boiled peanuts in a snow cone. Do it.
Exactly.
That's the guy. Those are the people, man.
Oh, man, I'm
That's-
telling you, I hit up all the food trucks and stuff. If I go and get something to eat, I'm probably eating at a food truck.
I love a good street
Support
taco.
the man. Support the neighbor.
Yep.
Support the community. Stop with the cabal companies. And stop with the nonsense that the government is going to do anything good for you. Just look what's around and, have some faith in your fellow man. Have some faith in your friends. Have some faith in your family. And stop looking to these controllers as needed. They're not needed. We don't need Costco. We don't need Walmart. We don't need this party or that party. We really don't need any of it. So let's start on the track to get back away from that.
I said it the other night. I mean, we're definitely here to all support one another. But in the end, nobody's going to save you but yourself.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So, namaste to everyone out there. Thank you to all the
Namaste.
new viewers. Thank you to the Soul family that's always here. I truly
Love you guys, man.
Yeah, I mean, y'all make it possible, and y'all truly bring joy to my life. So thank you. And fellas, like I said, we'll be doing this in the next week or two.
Awesome.
Folks, I'll be back tomorrow night with Zigzag Zilla, so tune in for that. Then Saturday night, and I can't even remember right now. Just oh yeah,
Was it David?
no,
No?
it's Robert
No?
V and Trina will be on.
Right on.
So until then, be the frequency you want to receive, folks. Go out there and spread some love and knowledge. I love you all. Have a wonderful night.